The main Directorate of Intelligence, HUR, published an intercept of Russian occupants in which the commander orders to open fire on their own. The HUR reported about it in Telegram. The published video shows the occupants' commander ordering to open fire on his own subordinates if they try to leave their positions. There is no possible way to retreat. No one is retreating anywhere. Everyone is standing in their positions. Fuck off. I'm telling you again, fuck. If anyone runs anywhere, fuck it. Shoot them. We are going only forward. Bastard. Only forward. Fuck off, the Russian commander said. The HUR noted that such orders are further evidence of criminal practices of the Russian command. Ukrainian intelligence officers added that every crime against the Ukrainian people will be punished. Reports of Russian soldiers being executed for retreating have repeatedly surfaced during the full-scale invasion. More than 50,000 Russian soldiers have deserted from the front lines since February 2022, according to an investigation by the independent Russian media outlet Important Stories. The report said many were forced back into frontline duty under conditions described as near suicidal. Russians are also killing Ukrainians who surrender. The killing of surrendering Ukrainian troops is alleged by Ukrainian officials and international experts to be part of an orchestrated Russian policy. The incident appears to be one of the first times that intercepted radio transmissions have been linked to drone footage of a suspected execution. Ukrainian officials claim the alleged executions are fueled by Russia's cultural hatred of their opponents, but are also meant for psychological impact. But Ukraine had increased training of its personnel to be sure Russian prisoners were held safely for later exchanges. Recalled recently, the 3rd Army Corps wrote that near the village of Shandry-Golovo in Donetsk region, Russian occupation army soldiers shot a civilian family and took a minor girl prisoner. Shandry-Golovo is located near Liman in Donetsk region. According to deep state maps, as of September the 23rd, most of the village is under the control of the defense forces, but the outskirts of the settlement are in the gray zone.
Нету возможности откатиться. Нету. Никто никуда не отходит. Все стоят на своих позициях. Как приняли меня, я вам еще раз говорю, если кто-то куда-то побежит, расстрелять. Точно так. Мы идем только вперед. Победа или смерть.
The global situation is the most fragile it has been in recent history, said the UK Prime Minister Friday at the Global Progress Action Summit in London. According to Associated Press, Sir Keir Starmer spoke of the rise of UK far-right party reform, the war in Ukraine and US President Donald Trump's tariffs at the summit, flanked by his Canadian, Australian and Danish counterparts. When the Berlin Wall came down, I didn't think that I'd see Russian tanks going across European borders in my lifetime. And yet we've seen it, said Starmer, referring to Russia's war in Ukraine and recent Russian drone intrusions into NATO's airspace. The conflict in Ukraine has shattered the idea that the comfortable peace dividend that we have enjoyed for years is here necessarily to stay, said Starmer, adding it was an opportunity to rise to the moment.
But now we face a very different proposition with Reform and Nigel Farage, and so the battle of our times is between patriotic national renewal in the way I've described under a Labour government, which is capable of expressing who and what we are as a country accurately and in a way where people feel they're valued and they belong and that we can actually move forward together, versus something which is turning into a toxic divide. That march that we had here 2 weeks ago in London in Whitehall, that sent shivers through the spines of many of our communities well away from London, not just those in the immediate vicinity. So there's a battle for the soul of this country now as to what sort of country do we want to be, because that toxic divide, that decline with Reform, it's built on a sense of grievance politics, identifying something real for sure, but relying on the problem existing in order for their politics to persist.
So all of what I've said has actually nothing to do with U.S. tariff policy, and it goes back to something I said earlier, and we say over and over again. We have learned the lesson that we need to be, we use the expression, masters in our own home. We were over-reliant on one trading partner. We can address it by building at home and diversifying, we'll get to it I'm sure, with like-minded trading partners around the world. That's not everybody in the world, but countries that share our values, share a commitment to open markets, and again, that can more than compensate for what's happening elsewhere. And the key thing is it gives people agency. We're in charge. We're not reliant on a decision that's taken outside our border.
The global situation is as fragile as I think many of us have known it. I have to say, when the Berlin Wall came down, I didn't think that I'd see Russian tanks going across European borders in my lifetime. I really didn't. I mean, yet we've seen it. That conflict is not just about the sovereignty of Ukraine, it is about the ambition of Putin and our values, our freedoms. It's already impacted hugely on energy prices, etc. here in the United Kingdom. And it has shattered the idea that the comfortable peace dividend that we have enjoyed for years is here necessarily to stay, and therefore we have to rise to this moment.
Centrist parties, even centrist right parties, are kind of...
You can have your own view on tariffs. You may think they're good, bad or indifferent, but the fact is they're here. President Trump believes in them, uses them, and we have to understand that. It's a profound belief that he has about the way he wants his economy to be reshaped. We can commentate on that, or we can understand we're living in a different world, and therefore we have to react to that, which means being much clearer about, in my view, the role of the state in our own countries, working with our industries, our sectors, so that it's not just a sort of free-for-all, market knows best, but actually much more focused and directed, but also how do we lower trade inhibitors across like-minded countries.
What we're living through, all of us, what we're living through is not a transition, it's a rupture. It's a big change in the trading system, and we're not going back. Nostalgia is not a strategy there. Big change in geopolitical risk. We have agency, but we have to build strength at home, find those like-minded partners, bring together, and in doing so, we deliver for our citizens, but also it gives a confidence and a purpose to the country that is empowering.
And I think that speaks to the patriotism that
migration is a big issue. When it comes to migration issues, one of the theme of our approach is you can be strong on borders without being weak on humanity. So we have strong border controls through Operation Sovereign Borders. We've continued, but at the same time we've increased the number of asylum seekers who we take. We abolished temporary protection visas to give people that security to fully participate in society. People who'd been in Australia some for more than a decade, they weren't going back anywhere, but to really emphasise that Australian values are there. I think there are attempts by some on the far right to own nationalism, and so it's a matter of not being nativist about it, but being proud of who we are and what we're achieving. And Australian society has the oldest continuous culture on earth in First Nations people, but we also are a multicultural society as well, who've welcomed people from all over the world. We're all either migrants or descendants of migrants, except for First Nations people. So